I use this because the microphone on this is not very good.
Okay.
Okay. Um, Now, we just talked about why investment is important for Tanzania University. What do you see the role of investment overall in Nigeria? Why is investment important in Nigeria?
The moment you invest, you create jobs. Young people are absorbed. By absorbing young people, you're also diminishing or lessening cases of truancy, robbery, kidnapping, and other social ills. If you don't invest, you don't create jobs. The graduates come out, but they have nothing to do. And an idle man is the devil's workshop. And so finally, you only graduate students who come out to be thieves, armed robbers, kidnappers. So investment is very important to the country. And the country itself, the people in the country, they seem to look outwards like elephants. They don't want to look inside. Elephants see only things far, but they don't see things close to them. So some, a good number, they do not invest. Investment becomes so important at this point in time that without that, university education may be meaningless. What's the use of studying and studying and studying, graduating after 4 years or 5 years as engineers or 6 years as medical doctors, whereas there are no places to work and nobody is ready to invest? Investment also is normally sponsored by a sound economy. If the economic situation is not wonderful, nobody will like to invest in a country where there is a galloping inflation. You spend $200,000 to invest, and by the time you finish building and you're about to market, the place does not worth much anymore. Or the money you get from it may be $500,000, but it doesn't worth $100,000 the time you were invested. So the economy of the country is also important. Without sound economy, with galloping inflation, investment may not be. So we need therefore investment in order to create jobs for young people. We need investment in order to match the efforts we're making at training people in the universities with the actual life they're going to live after graduation. Without this particular measure of investment, we are going to be in a hot soup sooner or later. Maybe what is happening in Bahrain, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia will also start happening in Nigeria sooner or later. If you have a large number, a big number of young people unemployed, and the only way to create jobs through investment, micro, macro, it all depends on what is available.
You have partially answered this question, and you're welcome to dismiss it if you think you already have. But in case you have not, what do you feel the role of the Tanzania University has in education in Nigeria or even education in Africa?
The Tanzania University should be considered as a pace setter. That's what we are aiming at, even if we are handicapped sometimes from the aspect of funding, from the aspect of employment, the workers, whether we are well equipped with workers, whether we are well staffed and things like that. But we want to be pace setters, not only to Nigeria but also to Africa and even to the world. Nobody wants to begin an enterprise and will be satisfied with mediocrity, just at the middle. Yeah, it's just a university. But you look at it, it's not really a university. But you cannot say it is not a university because it has license. Nobody would like to have that. We are aiming at a high-class university, not in terms of cost, but in terms of productivity. What are we able to achieve at the end of the day? So that is that. I think Tanzania University certainly will have a heavy, serious impact on Nigerian education as well as the education in Africa. But of course, you know, there are many handicaps, there are many upheavals, the hurdles are many. But in overall, how does one become a champion if not by defeating others? If by getting over those hurdles, it is by getting over those obstacles that will emerge champions in the education arena. So that's what I think.
Do you see Tanzania University helping to make Nigeria a greater country?
Yes, as a matter of fact, in our objective, one of the objectives is to train out leaders for Nigeria, for Africa. There's a faculty, for a department we want to have that established, training out leaders for Nigeria and then for Africa. Our problem in Africa is not necessarily financial. It is a management. It is a problem of leadership. If you don't have the right leader, you can have even dollars all over the place, but people will be dying of hunger. You got wrong management, poor mentality, or ghetto mentality. So this is the point I think we have to consider seriously. If the Tanzania University is not just it's not aiming at local production or mediocrity. No, the target is high. Whether we're reaching that already is another question, because Rome was not built in a day. It will take some time to mature and produce fruits with time. That's what I think.
Can you briefly explain the culture of corruption in Nigeria? And I bring that up because you mentioned that there's not an appropriate mentality for many people, and that's a problem.
Yeah, corruption has been there before I was born, and seems to it's still enduring, still lasting up till now, and may stay still longer. I don't see corruption disappearing. But our concern is how can we tailor, how can we mellow down these corrupt tendencies among the people. The worst now is that corruption has even gone into the academic circle. Professors taking bribes to give students marks. No, things like that. You give me 5,000 naira, I give you A. You give me 4,000 naira, I give you B. You give me 3,000 naira, I give you C. That's unthinkable, but it is happening. Corruption is there in political life. Corruption is there in every facet. Jobs are uncompleted, but because there is corruption, those jobs are declared completed. And so people continue to suffer. Go and buy us machine for this or for that. They go and buy refurbished machines. So the point is that without corruption being completely rooted out, all the efforts being made in the country will remain fruitless.